Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I pulled over now. Hang on a second. All right. So I'm introducing Veronique to share tonight with you guys about bank. So Veronique, I'm going to pass it on over to you.
Thank you very much. And I can see it's recording now. So greetings from Bali. It is morning for me. And I'm really excited I get to speak about bank because as you know, Lauren, I mean, you just saw Sherry talk. I mean, we've been talking about bank for years and things have been changing. The system is the same, but we have so much more to offer. And I really see through the years how it makes a difference to people communicating and really interacting with each other. And it's not necessarily about sales, it's about relationship. And as you know, I'm fascinated by relationships, and that's something that I really love. So what I will do is actually start sharing my screen, if I may, because I do have a presentation. Question is, which one is it? I hate when it does this. Technical difficulties for everybody. All right, so let's do this. Right, can you just tell me that you see me or you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool, awesome. That's just a little bit helpful to have some things to show you as well, guys. So let's start with this. Oh, no, okay, maybe not. It was working when I tried earlier, so hopefully I'll be able to make it work. Okay, so this is me, Veronique Ficheaux. I think from the name you probably figured out that yes, I am French. It's not contagious. I've been trying to be contagious, but it's not working, and I'm still a hugger. I have been out in Asia for over 25 years now, and I actually used to be in finance. I was a fund manager. I came to Hong Kong, Asia, to Hong Kong as a fund manager, and loved what I did, but it didn't quite fulfill me. And to the point where I got to a stage where I was really burnt out. And that's kind of when I met Tony Robbins, and I met the Tony Robbins world. And I want to joke that they've never been able to get rid of me. I keep coming back. So these days I'm the trainer for Tony Robbins. I'm actually really excited that I get to go to Australia next week to help with Date with Destiny and support in particular the Chinese team. It's interesting that Lauren was talking about languages, because languages is one of my forte. And I figured out later why it was, by the way. So as Lauren said, yes, I have a beautiful son, and yes, he's officially taller than me now. He's 13 and a half, and he's completely a Juice Plus baby. We've been feeding him Juice Plus since he was like 3 or something like that. This is the view from my office at the moment, minus the little cloud on top of the volcano, because for those of you that want to know or that heard about it, the volcano has calmed down. So at the moment, it's very nice and quiet. I also, as I said, I'm very blessed to be a trainer for both bank and for Tony Robbins. And I have been a trainer for bank since 2013. And what happened was I met Sherry at a talk at a National Achievers Congress in Singapore, and she went through what bank was, and my brain went, this is it. This is what works for me. I understood exactly where she was going with this and how I could help people with it. And I guess I've already given you a little bit of information about what works for me. What I loved about it was the fact that it can help increase our sales by up to 300%. And if you look at the screen and you see those little steps and you're kind of wondering what they're about. So let me put this in terms of languages. As we said before, it's all about speaking the right language to the people in front of you. So the first level here, that's blueprint, doesn't really matter. Say we all speak English. So you all understand what I am saying to you in terms of words. But suppose in our group, there was somebody that only spoke French. So they're listening to this English and it sounds like gibberish, or it sounds like you when you go and visit Paris and they refuse to say anything in English to you. And so if I introduce myself and if I say bonjour, je m'appelle Veronique, je suis ravie de vous rencontrer, some of you may have gotten what I just said. My mom would be horrified because I actually have an accent now when I speak French. That's what you get for being away for a long time. And if suddenly a Chinese person came up and they heard French or they heard English, they might absolutely not get what we're saying until somebody turns around and say, Ni hao,怎么样? How are you, right? They might say, oh, somebody speaks my language, right? It right away creates that connection. And when we are speaking about selling or even creating a connection with people, isn't it easier when you start speaking their languages? Not everybody sees things the same way, and not everybody makes decisions the same way. And to me, that was a really, really big difference, because a lot of bank is about how we make decisions, how we make buying decisions. That's why this presentation is called Why They Buy. But it's also how we make relationship decisions, how we process things, how we talk to others. Our language, our bank code will come up in all those approaches. So here's a few numbers I'd like you to think about in terms of sales. Of course, we in the network marketing concept, it's a little bit different. But as the full salespeople, 67% of salespeople miss quotas. 87% of people feel like they are not adequately prepared. That's something that could be easily fixed, isn't it? And it's just a question of time. And 66% of people actually feel like they are turned off by the presentation that is given to them. That's a little bit scary if you think about it, because for you to be successful, we all want you to be able to speak to everybody and everybody saying, I want to do it, right? And I'm on forums a lot. I read a lot of people's feedback, and I hear a lot of, yeah, this product may be well, but I don't want to do network marketing. And sometimes you think like network marketing is the devil or something, the way they speak about it. And a lot of it is about them not understanding how it can serve them. And if we just tell it in our language, it's not going to work for them. So Robert Kiyosaki says the ability to sell is the #1 skill in business. But it's not just in business. I don't know how many of you have kids. As I said, I have one. But how many times do I sell my son on going to bed at the right time? Pretty much every night. Or do I sell him, and some of you that have adolescent boy might understand that more, do I sell him on the fact that he needs to put on deodorant and brush his teeth twice a day, right? We're always selling something. In a relationship, you're always selling something. So you may have heard this before. Sales is a numbers game. And so in order to get more yeses, you should go out and get more no's. This is what a lot of sales trainers promote, right? They tell you, get on the phone, call people, call 20 people, and you might get 2 appointments. And all of us, we know how disheartening it can be. We know how disappointing it can be and how discouraging it can be. And you were talking earlier about how to onboard people, how to make sure people become successful right away. Well, in that case, if they have this experience of getting more no's as well as a few yeses, they might get discouraged faster. So it's not necessarily the best approach to people. So here's a question for you. What if instead of getting more no's to get more yeses, you simply worked on getting more yeses? It doesn't sound like a revolutionary idea, isn't it? But in a way it is, because of this idea that is ingrained in us, that it is a numbers game. And don't get me wrong, it is a numbers game. If you only get 1 yes because you only got 1 person Are you going to make it to the level that Lauren has hit? Probably not. So this presentation is to show you some of the secrets and some of the systems that we can use to help with that. So if you guys look at this picture, does that remind you of, does this picture here, sorry, remind you of the cryptex? I don't know if any of you have seen that movie, the Da Vinci Code. It's actually quite old, but this is what happens when you get the right code, right? And here's the secret. It's a people's game. It's communication. It's getting with people, right? All business is a people's business. Without people, you have no business. And especially in our industry with the network marketing, it's all about people. It's all about talking to people. It's about connecting with them. It's about them taking your idea and wanting to change the world with it. And I truly believe that bank is an idea that could change the world. Bank is personality-based, people-focused, and profit-driven. Because without profits and without us selling, we are so focused on actually being, meeting the end of the month or about paying the rents and everything, that it is really, really hard to be focused on other things. And so profits is a part of life. Bank is the only methodology in the world that is scientifically validated to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. And we have the research to prove it, by the way. I'm happy to share that with you. And if you guys want to see the white paper, please make sure to drop me a line after this. So Lauren mentioned Sherry Tree. Sherry Tree is the founder and the creator of Bank. She has a 20-year track record of using Bank. Bank is now in over 40 countries. I mean, after all, it is in Bali, Indonesia, but it's also in most countries in Asia, in South Africa, in the US, of course, very, very strong, and in many other countries in Europe as well. And it's growing very, very quickly. So this is Sherry's story, and I want to share it with you in particular because guess what? This story actually happens in our network marketing world. Sherry started in network marketing, and the first year, she really, really did great, and she made $700 in commission. And you know, and I know that this is when people can get really, really disheartened and they leave. This is when we lose people in the first year, because it's just like, well, I put in all this effort, I talked to all my friends, and I only made $700 or $500. In fact, I will add that the average sale per person involved in network marketing is only $1,700 per year. So if you average it and considering the number of people that make large amount of money, you could understand why only 2% of people that join in network marketing on average, and I'm averaging it for across all network marketing companies, actually stay in the business. So our friend Sherry, she didn't like that number, but she's also stubborn. So she started studying. She worked really hard. She pushed. And after 5 years, she was making $72,000 a year, which can be considered as being really, pretty good. But from her point of view, absolutely not enough. And she knew that she could do better. And one of the things that she had become really fascinated with during that time was personality tests. DISC and MBTI and all the other ones, and she started taking all of them, and she was really fascinated to see how it really matched her personality, and it was telling her about what was going on for her. It was she was really learning a lot out of that, but at the same time her fascination quickly turned into frustration, because while she knew who she was, it wasn't bringing her any new client, and it wasn't helping her close. One day, she had an epiphany that if it was possible for her to actually figure out other people's personality, she may be able to sell more and to do better with it. And so that's when this system came to her. She started developing that bank system and starting to ask all her clients some questions that helped her qualify which personality type they had. And putting it to the test, in the first year after she developed this system, she actually made over $500,000, which is a 695% increase. Now, we're not saying you're going to get that. And, you know, I'm guessing for all of us, even 20% would be pretty awesome, and 100% would be really great. Within 3 years, she was making over $1 million every year. And you know that in network marketing, there are not that many people that achieve that. The way she did that was teaching her team how to use Bank. So she became quite well known. She was actually put on the cover of the magazine. And then people started asking about it outside. And so she started doing public speaking. This is kind of where I met her, right? You see the Success Resources side. That was one of the events that I met her at, as well as with Sir Richard Branson. And in 2013, she was actually asked to come and talk to Harvard, to the alumni, about how to use Bank to grow their businesses. Also asked at Berkeley University. And in 2016, this is what I was talking about, the San Francisco State University actually came to her and asked to do a research about Bank. And the research was twofold. The first thing is they wanted to prove that it was completely original material. And secondly, they wanted to prove that it can accurately predict buying behavior, or they wanted to know that it does. And the result of the white paper was actually that it did both cases. It's completely original material. And yes, it does accurately predict buying behavior. Because it's all about how we make decisions, right? Albert Einstein says, any fool can complicate things. It takes a genius to simplify them. And I think that's very true. I've been using things like Disc for years. I like Disc, don't get me wrong. I really, really like Disc. Most of my coaching clients, when I was coaching for Tony Robbins, would get the Disc reports, right? And the Disc report is probably this thick. And somewhere in there was one page that said, this is how people should deal with you. But nobody walks around with that page, giving it to other people. Nobody sticks that page at the front door in their office. This is how you need to deal with me. And that's what Bank does. Bank is literally that page made simple, so that everybody can know right away, if this person has this type of personality, this is what they need to know. This is what works for them. This is the communication style that will work for them. So here's the science. If we think about it, if there are 4 personality types, B, of course, is for blueprint, A for action, N for nurture, and K for knowledge. There are 4 personality types. Is it possible that we actually need to speak different languages? I mean, the 4 personality types is not a new concept. It's been around for over 2,500 years. In fact, Hippocrates was using the personality types in 400 BC to help heal people. There were 4 temperaments. I actually remember learning that in a philosophy class. That was a while ago. These days, personality it's safe to be there are not even log into Facebook without having people tell you or what's normal or that word. Are you? Test and
Mm.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so
We're losing you. You're going in and
very,
out. You're going in and out a little bit, Veronique. You're going in and out.
okay. Okay. Let me do something. Let me get on my phone and see if it's any better. Run the okay. It would if you told me where you lost me as well, so I could pick up there.
Just a couple minutes ago, like about speaking different languages.
Right. So this.
Are you back?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm trying to do both things at the same time. On my phone. Sorry about that, guys. That's the same.
Yeah, we're losing you.
Yeah, hold on, please. Okay.
Hey, everybody stay on the line. We don't want to lose you. Don't leave the meeting. Oh, we're losing people. Stay on the line, guys. This will help your business. This will help your business. I promise you, it helped mine a lot. So I would encourage you to stay on the line. So we've lost a couple people.
Yeah. 397.
Can maybe you just speak and turn your video off maybe, and then I guess, because I don't want to lose any more people on the line. Do I see her? I don't see her. We'll just wait till she comes back. Stay on, guys. I don't know what's up, but this will definitely help your business if you stay on and see what's up with her.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very good.
Okay, is it better? Sorry about that, guys.
Much better. Much
so
better.
I'm gonna run the sound of this and see. I don't understand why this is not working.
It's very
anyway.
clear. It's very good. Very good.
Okay.
Very clear.
Okay, so you have the sound. You may not have any picture yet, but I will work on the picture while I talk. How about that? So, all right. So if you lost me while we were talking about languages, I'm guessing we got to the science part, did we?
Yes, you talked about making things, anybody can complicate things, but better to keep it simple.
Right, okay, perfect. Okay, and now I'm back here. I'm just okay. I'm gonna mute myself. Ooh, hold on. There, got it. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay,
we got you. Okay, very good. Okay.
I could hear myself twice, so that was really weird. Okay, now we've got a double whammy going on. So you got sound and now you got pictures. I hope.
No
but
pictures.
At least, okay.
No pictures, but let's go ahead. Let's just go ahead because I don't
want
to lose anybody. We're losing
yeah. Absolutely. All right. So So yes, the 4 personality type is actually not a new system. It's been around for a really long time, and Hippocrates was using it in 400 BC to help people in his medical practice. He was using what they called the 4 temperament, and that worked really well. In terms of the in terms of the personality types, I don't know about you, but there's personality tests everywhere, right? I opened my Facebook account and there's one of them was what sort of mystical animal are you, for instance. And I always thought that was really quite interesting to see, okay, what sort of mystical animal am I went and did it, and it said you're a unicorn. I said, no, the unicorn's my sister, I'm a mermaid, your system's wrong. But joke aside, everybody is fascinated by finding out about themselves. And it's also a system that is being used in many ways. For instance, you will see that people will use it for recruiting, right? For recruiting in a job. You may be asked to do a DISC profile. And we use this profile a lot in the Robbins world, and I love it. It's great. And you end up getting a really, really large, you end up getting a big presentation, and in it somewhere is half a page that tells you this is how people should deal with you. But the truth is, most people don't give it to other people, right? We don't walk around with that half page, this is how to deal with me, or you don't put it in the front of your desk when people come talk to you. So sometimes people have no idea how to communicate with you in the right way. What I love about Bank is that it makes that part really simple, right? It makes it really easy to get to know what's working and what's not. And here's the missing link to that. Is it possible that if there are 4 personality types, the best way to do it is to actually adapt your sales pitch, adapt your language to people so that you always speak the right language to them, so that you are actually speaking with them in a way that they understand. Is it possible that you need 4 different personality types? You need 4 different speech. You need 4 different approaches. And it's practice. We all want to practice and do it the right way, right? So this is what I'd like to show you in the next couple of slides, which I'm hoping you can get to see. Now that I've fixed those problems. All right, try again. All right, so now let's go back to that cryptex. I don't know how many of you remember the Da Vinci Code. It's a fairly old movie based on a great book. But in the Da Vinci Code, they had to solve a puzzle. And the puzzle was what would open the cryptex. And a cryptex is basically a little box that has a special code on it that allows you to open it. In that specific story, inside the cryptex was a papyrus that actually had the secret of the Holy Grail on it. And by doing that, you could actually, if they got the wrong code, the vial of vinegar inside would break and you would lose the secret of the Holy Grail, which of course nobody wanted. But does it feel sometimes like when you're having a conversation with someone, you've suddenly broken that vial of vinegar and the connection is gone? It's like suddenly you switch to another language and the person doesn't understand you? So Tony Robbins says, let your prospect determine your presentation. So as we said before, doesn't it make sense to have 4 different presentations and 4 different ways of presenting your product so people know what to say? Because that's the most common mistake. We all speak the language we're comfortable with. But in that case, you deliver the right script 25% of the time, but you deliver the wrong script 75% of the time. So if you want to increase your sales by up to 300%, here are some of the things you might want to look out for. Here are the personality types. The first personality type is your blueprint. And I loved how you were speaking at the beginning about what is going on with that, because with starting people and onboarding them and showing them the system and making sure that they all have the right they all have the right system going on, because that's what Blueprint is about. Our blueprint are all about system stability and structure. The biggest thing they want to avoid is risk. They are really, it's really important for them to be in an environment and to know exactly what is going to happen. Flexibility might seem like it's not their strong suits. What is amazing about our blueprints is the fact that they are great at following structure. And if you give them a very distinct path about it, if you say, this is how you do it, these are the things that you can do right away, they will absolutely do it. They will follow it to the letter, right? Afterwards, when they're comfortable, they might suggest improvement. One of the things that they are also is very traditional. So these are the people that you may recognize by a very traditional greeting, whether it's a very quite stiff handshake, or whether if you're in Asia, it could be a bow. It's really, they like things to be a certain way. There's nothing wrong with blueprints. There's nothing wrong with them being a blueprint. But when you have a blueprint client, you need to make sure that they feel reassured. You need to give them the information that they need. You need to show them the system for success. You need to show them that the products that you are speaking to them about are proven, that they have a track record. They will not be the ones that will be jumping into a brand new MLM with a brand new product. But something that's been around for a long time, like Juice Plus, has a great track record, yes, they definitely will be interested in that. Our next code are the actions. They're the movers and the shakers. They're the ones that want to do things. The ones that want things to happen quickly. And they are the ones that are really, really concerned about being spontaneous. They want action. They want excitement. They want stimulation. They also like winning. They like being the best, right? So these are the people that probably will show up late at your meeting and will leave early because they don't have a lot of time and they have a lot of things on their plate. They also will be the best clients to have because they're the quick decision makers. They're the ones that will say, okay, I can see how I can make it happen. I can see how I can be very successful with this. Let me go for it. They don't want you to go through the entire system at this stage. They really want the bottom line. The bottom line is you can be very healthy with these products and you can become quite wealthy as well if you work it. That's good for them. They like it. They also will like, they're the ones that the competitions will really work for as well. Does that make sense? So if you think about these people, they speak faster, they move faster, they have this sense of excitement. The one thing that they hate is being bored. So remember that. In terms of a greeting, you may also see them do more of a high five rather than a handshake. Where it works more in the US actually, but you know it's different places. I have a little stories about high fives. So when I got into the Tony Robbins world as a client, actually, my first event, I walk in and everybody's high fiving everybody else, and my first reaction was, I don't high five people. I'm French. Right. So yeah, I have to be a little bit careful with that. But they're the people that are going to be a bit more casual in how they communicate with you. If you're in action, be careful to not be too casual because it might not work with some of your clients and with some of the people you are speaking with. Our next personality types are the nurturing people, the nurturers. The nurturers are all about the connection. They love being with people. They love being around people. They're the recyclers. They're the people that want to be part of a team. Very important for them. They value authenticity, harmony, contribution. They really want to be part of a community. They're the people that are the glue of a group. They will bond the group together. Very often you will find them attracted to the network marketing group because they want to help. The challenge with that is they're the ones that are really, really good at giving samples to everybody, but not great at closing the sales because they don't want to be pushy. They really want to maintain that relationship. So these are some of the aspects of your nurturing. One of the things that kind of irks me when people recruit for network marketing is you don't really have to sell the product, you just have to share. And this is a joke that Sherry does often, and she says, well, if it was just sharing, it would be called the National Direct Sharing Association, not the National Direct Selling Association. Eventually, you have to close the sale. And this is where it can be a challenge for our nurturers. They get in for the team, they get in for the support, they get in for the fact that they want to help other people become healthier. Absolutely. And they need a little bit of help to understand how them becoming a bit pushy may be serving others. Just saying. Of course, in terms of greetings, they are the people that would most likely give you a hug right away. Right. They're the huggy type. If they shake your hands, they're the ones that will most likely bring their other hand to cover your hand. They like personal contact. Our fourth personality type are the knowledge type. And the knowledge people, the knowledge type, they're all about the data and the cold, hard facts. They value learning, logic, intelligence. They value self-mastery. They're the ones that want to know everything about your product, right? They will ask about the science. They will tell you about the science. They're the ones that will ask for more information. What I love about knowledge people is they have so much to share in terms of knowledge. If you get them on that route, they can speak for 2 hours about how great the product is and why it's great and what's the science behind it and what it's doing for you. But of course, if your knowledge person is speaking with an action person, they will lose the action person within the first 10 minutes because the action person does not want to see all this stuff. They just want the bottom line. So this is where things become very interesting. They're also considered sometimes as cold because they will be the ones that are making not gut decisions, but very reasoned decisions. One of the jokes that we have about knowledge people as well is that they're the ones that when they say, I will think about it, they actually do. And they'll come back with more questions. Right. The best compliment that a knowledge person can give you about what you're offering them is it's a no-brainer. It means you've managed to give them everything their brain needed for them to make a decision right away. And of course, the beauty of Juice Plus is there is so much research that they can go and feed their brain on. In terms of greetings, we have a running joke that they're a bit like Mr. Spock and would rather not have a direct contact with you, right? But really, they can be quite formal and they will not really value a lot of physical contact with you. So just something to think about. They're the ones that could hand you their cards. So now that you've heard a little bit about the introduction and about the presentation, what do you think your code is? And sometimes the answer to that might be, how did you get into Juice Plus? And why did you get into Juice Plus? I'll tell you my story about it. I got into Juice Plus because my mom got sick. And I was looking into things that could help her. She was in hospital for nearly a year. And when she came out of hospital, she was supposedly better, but not really better according to me. So I started doing research to see what could help her and what could help her heal faster. And that ended up being Juice Plus. And that's why I got into Juice Plus. And then I started taking it and my son started taking it. Does that tell you what my first code is? I'm pretty sure you could decode that already. So how do you find out about your prospect code in 90 seconds or less? How do you decide, okay, which one is the right one? One of the things that I hear a lot, especially from my knowledge people, is yes, but if I get it wrong, I could completely turn people off. That is true up to a point. But I want to just debunk that for a second. One of the things that is going on with this is as long as you are within the first two, you are still speaking a language that works for them. We are not just one language. We are not just one personality type. All of us are a blend of all of them, which is why it makes it a little bit easier for us to figure it out. So one of the ways that we do that is we have cards, physical cards that we show to people that show all those values that I discussed with you. And usually I just go out and ask people to put the cards in order. How does that work for them? They look at the cards, they look at the values, and you can already figure out what their personality type is just by how fast they can put the cards together, or they put the cards together. The more they think about it, the more they want to get it right, the more it tells you that they are most likely into the knowledge and blueprint quadrant. Our actions in particular are done in about 20 seconds. That's just their personality type. They want things to go fast. Of course, right now, I'm not offering you the cards, but I'm offering you a way to know what your personality is and what other people's personality types is. And that's technology, which is, don't you love technology? I'm a big fan of it, even though it's not really supporting me right now. So here's what you can do. And I will actually put that link somewhere. I'll figure out with Lauren how to do that. If you go online on this website, www.mybankcode/Veronique, my first name, it will take you to a website where you will see the cards and you will be able to put them in the right order for you. And then you can just crack your code. Make sure you submit all your details and you will get a full report that is valued at $97. And that's actually my present to you for listening and for staying in today. And you can actually see what your personality report is. There are, of course, 24 different personality reports. And when you send a client to do this on the website, they can actually get their own. And if you have signed up for it, you can get theirs as well, which can be really interesting. So imagine before you meet anybody, if you already knew what language you are going to have to speak to them. And the truth is, for some of the people, you're already thinking about it. You already know what it is. I have a little story about my son about this recently. I'm a single mom, and we've had the same nanny since he was born, so 14 years. And she's a wonderful lady. She's from Indonesia. And he was doing the cards, and he was playing with them. They were on my bed. I was packing for a trip. And he looked at the cards, put them in order, and his code is actually action knowledge blueprint. Nurture blueprint. And a couple of days later, he turns around and he says to me, so I wonder what Auntie's, that's how we call her, that Auntie's code is. And I said to him, well, what do you think it is? And he thinks about it for a second and he goes, I think she's a blueprint. And I laughed because that's true. And I said to him, and it's a great thing because otherwise our house would be a real mess. Because she takes care of us and she makes sure there's food on the table at the right hour and everything. And since neither of us are very, very high blueprints, to say the least, this house would probably be a lot more messy without her input. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. But what it illustrated to me was how simple it is to use, that a kid can figure it out and they just think about it a little bit and can figure out somebody that they know. And I actually pushed it a little bit more and asked him about a couple of his friends. And he was able to kind of give me the codes that he thought his friends were. And I kind of agreed with his assessment. So it's not that complicated to learn. And that's the beauty of it from my point of view. It's this system is really simple. It's not going to take a lot of brain power to figure it out. Some people are more complicated than others, but in general, we all operate in two codes at the top, and one of them is usually very easy to spot. Same as it's really easy to spot that I am not a blueprint. I always joke that doing Tony Robbins events as a senior leader always took all of my organization quota for the year. But you know, it's just I've always known that I wasn't organized, but I've learned how to organize things so that my brain works in the best way. Right? Everybody is like that. All of us, we have already created coping mechanisms that compensate for some of the things that we're not very good at. But you can also just learn speaking the right language with these people so you don't lose them. That's really the bigger thing. It's speaking the right language. So I don't know how many of you have ever heard Les Brown. I love Les Brown. And if you've never heard him, please find him on YouTube and listen to his talks because he's awesome. And he's a big fan of Bank. And when he discovered Bank for the first time, I think that was the same year I did, he said, Bank is a game changer. For every entrepreneur and sales professional, this system will strengthen your confidence, expand your selling skill, and dramatically increase your income. That, you know, felt really good to have this endorsement. He's actually one of Bank's affiliates. So he promotes it to his teams at his events. Sherry's spoken at his events before, and she will continue to do that because he thinks that it just adds value to what his students are learning. And that's what I love about Bank, how simple it is and how easy to learn it is. I think I will leave it at that for the moment, and I'd like to open for a couple of questions if anybody's got any. I'm sorry, the screen sharing doesn't seem to really be working, and I will give you the link right away for the website. So if you guys want to
actually, you could put it in the comments if you would.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yes, that's what I was trying to do right
awesome.
now.
So this is amazing. I hope that everybody can really listen. This really helped me a lot with my business because, you know, you talked a lot. I'm action, but I'm always on time. So it drives me crazy not to be on time. But I also,
that's a rule thing as well, right? I mean, you know, it works, right? And that's the thing. It's funny you talked about time because that's one of the things that how you recognize blueprints, by the way.
Awesome.
Blueprints are always early.
Blueprints, yeah. Oh, really? Okay, so all right. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
Yeah.
This can help anybody. Yeah.
Bonsoir, Veronique de Los Angeles. Bonjour. I absolutely love this. It's actually, you know how you started off saying that when you learned this technique, it actually kind of resonated because you were so much of languages, I'm absolutely about languages. I have one question regarding the how do you determine more or less, and I know that this is a very short training, so you can't expect great things. I mean, not huge things, but so when you were telling your story about how you came to Juice Plus, which was a great aha moment for me. The first thing that I got from you was that you were a nurturer because you want to take care of your mother, and then you went into a knowledge part of you, which was the research. Now, but you touched also upon another aspect, which is many of us have actually adapted so that we can cope with the environment that we're living in. So the question that I have is, first of all, obviously I'm getting, and this is more of like a correct or incorrect acknowledgement. I'm guessing that most of us, if not all of us, are more than one. We might be predominant in one, but there's a secondary one that complements the first one, correct?
Yes, often.
Okay, and then the second part to that question, and I'm guessing because I'm guessing that you first took this technique and you applied it to you to kind of better communicate with yourself. So if you've become adaptive and you become so adaptive that you are kind of compensating in the kind of the wrong way, how is it best for you to like start, kind of like shedding that skin and kind of getting to the core of you? Does that make sense?
I think I understand what you're saying. For me, and that goes a little bit beyond what bank is, but and getting to the core of me has always been the nurturer, and to me it was a complete no-brainer. Understanding that to me, people and relationship was what was the most important thing to me, and that's why I gave you some of the hints as well with the other people in terms of what they hate and what they do most of. Right, because that will give you some of the hints about you as well. What are the things that are the most important to you in life?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were going down the list, I was like, okay, action. I was going like, I was jotting down. But when you had nurturing, I was like, oh God, this is me. Especially when you're talking about being part of the community, you were helping out. And when you touch upon one thing, which you said, these are the people that give away product, but are hard to come in and make the close. That was like, I was caught red-handed. It was almost like you caught me with my pants down. I was like,
thank you for the visual.
I feel naked here. And so obviously that is a huge weakness in my process, because I run away from closing, but I run to being a nurturer.
Yes.
And so that's where I feel that, it's almost like I have a smaller leg. I'm limping on that side. So I'm always trying to figure out how to be able to digest it well and how to take the stigma out of that closing part in order to be able to be stronger in that side.
Yeah, and this is where I actually incorporate bank in my coaching to people, because one of the things that I would say is team up with the people that have what you're weak in. Mm-hmm. So, same thing as I said, we're blessed with this wonderful nanny that keeps our house in order, and keeps us fed, because I know I'm not good at it.
Got it.
So, but yeah, there's a lot more to it. The thing is, it's not about saying this is my weakness, but it's about you understanding, in particular for the nurturer, that you don't serve people as much as you should because you're not closing them.
Got it.
Because you're actually giving them a disservice by not closing them.
Got it. And
so
then that actually helps.
System. It's buddying up with somebody, though, as well as what she's saying.
Yes.
Finding a buddy, just like what our business talks about, is really to find a buddy. A hooker and a cooker, as we say.
That's nice. I like that one.
Yeah. So, and this helps also because, and I understand getting a buddy is essential. But when you yourself are on your own, it is good to make that distinction, to digest it and change the language of that process in order to be able to be more within the predominant nature. So when you said right now, for example, you're not helping them out when you're not closing, that I understood innately in me, because there's almost like, nurturing is also being able to inspire them to take that step for them.
The other thing I will say to you is, I don't know what level you're at and where you're at in your building, is start with people that are like you. Start with, because that's the people it's easy to connect with, and they will have the same reasons as you do to sign up for things.
Got it. Thank you very much. This helps. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome.
Veronique?
Yes. Hi, Manon. Long time.
Yes. Comment ça va? It's so good to see. Well, it was good to see you earlier. It's good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
I had a question for you. I feel very much so like I'm a nurturer in my heart, but I can flip to blueprint really fast. And then, and then my medical background, it moves me to knowledge and that critical kind of mindset. And but it's interesting. I feel like when you were going through everything, it's like, oh yeah, okay, oh yeah, on that one too. It's like, so I felt very, I guess the test will kind of help me clarify that.
Yes, absolutely. And I will add one more thing, which is that, nobody's clear black and white. Well, I know a few pure actions are completely pure action and that's it. But everybody's got aspects of everything. And we have a few people that we kind of jokingly call divergents, which is that they are able to confidently and comfortably travel between the personality types because they are fairly high in all of them. So yes, absolutely. Once you take that test, I'll see it anyway. But once you take the test online, we can talk about it some more if you want. There's a more advanced test that's usually given in the actual class that includes digits. So for instance, I was saying, okay, my top one is nurture, but the truth is, and my nurture is 24 out of 25. But the truth is I'm 23 action.
Oh, goodness. Interesting. Yeah.
Right. So
yes.
I'm able to be both, but I'm very aware that in my personal thinking and decision-making process, the nurturer always comes first.
Got it. Yeah, no, it's because thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. It's because when I'm in medicine, it's like, and I'm not sure, I guess it's like what you just said there. I feel like I became trained.
Yeah.
Very critical mind, knowledge focused, and then driving out my intuition and stuff, which I feel is more of my nurturer and more my nurturer is my intuition, right? And then my blueprint is if I go into a fear space. It's really interesting. So anyway, I'm very curious. I'm excited to take the test, and I thank you for this. It's just been really, really grateful to hear this. Thank you.
You are so welcome. It's literally my pleasure.
Well, thank you so much, Veronique. I think that this was very valuable for those that were on the line, and I just love hearing it over and over again and seeing how it can apply to life and business. And but it's been a big, huge help for me, and also to help me realize where I got frustrated and why I was getting frustrated. Right, when people that would ask me certain questions, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Let's, help me find Cheryl because she's going to answer, the other part of it. So, so that's a very important thing to understand as well. So,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you guys. And I will end the call unless somebody's got a final question to ask. Anyone? Awesome.
Yeah, I do have one more question, Veronique. So obviously you do this for a living, and I'm very intrigued to learn this in depth. Where, I guess, first step would be to take the test, and then second step would
chat with me.
Awesome.
There's basically, and plus you're in Los Angeles, there's actually a live class that's going to be run sometime very soon if you want to do that. And the other thing is there's basically a whole system, and I can show you what the offer is if you're interested in finding out more. The biggest thing from my point of view is the system gets you access to that test online, and you can send it to as many people as you want. If I want to send, that link to /Veronique to 1,000 people today, it's not a problem.
Okay, awesome.
So awesome. Yes, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. I'm easy to find.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Lauren, quick question. My understanding is basically most of the PowerPoint did not show, right?
Yes.
Yes,
it stopped at Hippocrates.
All right. So I'm sorry that the internet's been really on and off recently, and I was trying to fix it, but obviously not very successfully. What I might do is put a few of those slides and maybe load them on the Facebook group. Is that how you want that? What would work best?
That would be fine. That'd be fine to put that in the Facebook group. And I know for you, like the biggest compliment that people can take away from this is really how to grow their business from this, right? I think it's easy to, that we want to help, like the real reason why this is so important is for people to find out where their chokehold is. I know for me, that's really the outcome with regards to this, because if you take this skill of learning this and apply it to your Juice Plus business, it'll versus just learning personality types, right?
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
want to just share a little bit about, like maybe some homework that you can give everybody versus like maybe when you've got your warm market, or when you're looking at recruiting, how you talk to these different people. Maybe you can give them some homework to building their business.
Yeah.
Can you give them some
Yeah.
homework real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that you guys can do in the first place is actually, once you have taken your test and you've seen the cards with all the words on them, because it's a bit hard not having seen them because they didn't come on the screen, is really think about who's already in your team and what do you think they are. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, when you think about somebody that's really been a challenge for you, even though you want to serve them, is where do you think this person's personality is? Because what you might find out fairly quickly is that they're your opposite side, and that's why it's so difficult. That's why it feels like they're speaking Russian to you, or the other way around. So that's one thing. And in terms of the team, a team that works really, really well actually has all the aspects in it. And what you find a lot in network marketing, and I'm generalizing, is that a lot of teams are mostly nurturers, which is great. And and you need closers, and you need people that can put together the system and follow the system. Right? So it's a great thing to actually see if you can have people that have a lot of those different personality and mesh together. So once you understand each other, that makes a big difference, right? So one of the homeworks I would give you is the people that you work together with is actually send them to do the test. That's one of the things that Sherry did pretty much right away when she started with that is, if you want my time and my support, take the test first. If you want me to, and she does it to this day, if you want me to talk to this person on your behalf, I need to know what their code is.
Yeah, and you can also see why I think you're exactly right on that, Veronique. There's so many people that are nurturers, want to help, but they're not getting those blueprint action people, the business people, to get busy, to start doing it. And they keep attracting the challenge is that it's comfortable because it's a community. So they're getting their needs met through the community, right? But they're not attracting the business, the people that go, come on, let's go to work. It's like, I know sometimes we've got a lot of nurturers. You're correct on this team, which is awesome. Great people, great, but it's safe and it's a little bit it's comfortable. You know what I mean? It's comfortable. They know that their needs are gonna be met. So and also a lot of times action people. The reason a lot of people said to me, "Oh, I told you about Juice Plus. But they weren't. I wanted to talk to another action person. I wanted someone to tell me like how I'm going to do this. Show me what you do. Show me that you're rocking it. Show me that you're this now. I didn't want to just talk to somebody who was part of it, that was just all lovey-dovey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you can share real quick about that. I just want everybody to really walk away with some skills, a little 2 millimeter shift of why their business might not be growing at the level that they want it to. Right.
Yeah, and that happens a lot, right? I'm sure you've had that a lot, Lauren. How many people come to you and says, "Oh yeah, my friend told me about Juice Plus, can I join you?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And it because you're nurturing enough, it feels bad to do that, but at the same time, you have to understand that they probably would not join with their friends because they know that the business building isn't there.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yep.
So these are some of the aspects that we really need to be careful with is, learn to literally speak the other person's language. I mean, you already have people that are very multilingual on your group, and learn to think, okay, so my normal language, for instance, I'll take my example, right? I'm a nurturer first. The language that's really hard for me to speak is blueprint. Right? It's all the systems, and if you follow the system and if you do it this way, and to me, the more I speak about it, the more the box feels really small.
Right.
But I have to understand that when I speak to other people, they that's what they need to know. They need to know that there's a system that is going to support them, that it's a system for success, right?
And that's
And
what's so
same
great about
as,
what the company,
yes,
but
go
that's
ahead.
what's so great about what the company put together with this whole, you heard about this freedom revolution, right?
Yes,
They put together all that so people could understand the blueprint. The challenge is getting those people who say that's what they need
to
to
do it.
actually go and do it, right?
Yeah.
So like, so that, I think that's the thing. I said, well, I need this, I need this, I need this. You put it up there, but then do they actually go take the time to actually watch it and do it, right?
A lot of actions will not if it's not short.
Right.
So that's one of the things that's really important, in particular with actions. Like, you know, you said we were talking and then we had this technical difficulty and people were dropping off. That's the typical action thing. Their attention span is short. So if you can give them in 10 minutes, the bottom line, and this is what you do, they blam, 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 blam. No reasons, no, just that's it.
What about
right?
what about for the nurturers? Because I think the wound is for the nurturers. If I'm looking at the people that are on the call right now, I would say 80% of them are nurturers, you know, that are on the call right now. So how do you get those nurturers to really look at this as the business and you know, and get into action? You know, how do you get those nurturers to see that business is okay, that it's okay to be in business?
And I think it goes.
Still.
No, I understand it's okay to be in business. The thing is, you have to understand how it serves people best. And so for nurturers to understand that the only way they're going to serve people is by people signing up is already a big part of leverage, right? And that the only way to build the community intentionally is for you to bring in the people you want in.
Oh, that's a great one. The only
right?
way for you to build a business, that's a great one. Yeah. So the only way for you to build a business, an intentional business, is to bring people in.
Yes.
That's great.
And
right?
I'm sorry, pardon my French, they freaking have to sign up.
Right.
Great. So I know
yeah.
we nurturers want to heal the world, and it cannot be done without the money. Hello?
So much. It's been a great event. I really appreciate it. Oops. Awesome. I might have lost you. All right.
No. You had lost us, but now you're back, so it's okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Great event. I really appreciate it. Bye.